Void Rivals number 17 from Image Comics and Skybound hits shelves on March 12, 2025. This time it drops a cosmic bombshell. The secret behind Zerta's past could unleash a planet-eating titan. Is it worth the cover price? Let's find out in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Comical Opinions. Here's what happened the last time in Void Rivals number 16. Derek and Salila saw Gracula's crew nabbed by Skuxoid, but those Cobra Law explorers turned the tables. Derek found a friend in one of his dad's old directors. Unfortunately, his father crashed their party and took his director friend into custody. Meanwhile, Salila and Handroid stumbled upon the massive face glowing in the shadows, the face of Zerta, which means their hunt is over, but their trials are just beginning. And so that brings us to Void Rivals number 17. Salila finally meets Zerta face to face and gets the full scoop on the history of the Sacred Ring. Zerta is an ancient Autobot from Cybertron's Trion era, living under the Quintessence as slaves to their masters. When her crew plotted a rebellion, the Quintessence unleashed Goliant, a planet-sized beast, not the same size as Unicron, but pretty darn close. Zerta bolted from Cybertron, luring Goliant away to keep the monster from destroying Cybertron. While he gorged himself on planets and stars as he chased Zerta through the cosmos, she nudged a humanoid race to build the sacred ring around a fading star. When Goliant feasted on the remains of the energy from that star, it collapsed into a black hole, trapping Goliant's body. Zerta split the mind of Goliant between the ring's two tribes, the Zertonians and the Igorians, with the use of Cybertronian tech. In the present, Zerta has explained to Salila that the tribes are strong enough to finish off Goliant now that he's weak, but if they wait too long, he'll claw his way out of the black hole and begin to grow powerful again. Zerta hands Salila a mission: rally everyone for unification. Meanwhile, Derek's facing arrest and worse for backing the rebels who are also in favor of unification. The issue wraps up with Cobra Law's ship tailing a quintessent craft, and Proximus carving through soldiers to reach Zalalac. So that's the issue. Let's check in with first impressions. If you've been itching for answers, Void Rivals number 17 is the issue you've been waiting for. It's grand in scale, it's mythic in detail and history and scope, and it's pretty mind-blowing if you think about the implications for what this means for the Sacred Ring, Cybertron, and their entire connection at a galactic scale. Robert Kirkman lays out Zerta's tale and this planet-sized menace like a cosmic puzzle clicking into place. All the little hints and teases that he's been dropping for the past 16 issues are really now starting to come together. It's a big step, and I'm hooked to see where it's headed next. Let's take a minute to talk about the art. Lorenzo De Felici's art is kind of a split decision, if you will. Where Derek and Salila are hashing out their big stuff, it's crisp, it's clean, and pretty darn good. Every detail sings. But in Zerta's Cybertron flashbacks, where you see these hordes of maybe not quite proto-Autobots fighting and moving about and working on Cybertron, the figures feel a bit off, like they're missing a bit of extra polish. It's a mixed bag of art overall, but it's still worth flipping through. So what's great about Void Rivals number 17? Robert Kirkman's got me with Zerta's backstory and the Sacred Ring's purpose. It's a prison with a ticking clock, and that urgency is pure gold from a storytelling point of view. The stakes feel massive, and it's got that wow factor that we've been waiting for this entire time. So far, everything's been kept pretty compressed into the moment, but now the pieces are coming together, and I can honestly say at this point, I think the puzzle, the overall big picture, is worth the wait. What's not great about Void Rivals number 17? With Zerta taking up the spotlight in the vast majority of the issue, the side stories like Cobra Law's crew and Derek's mess with his father and the director get a little bit shortchanged and squeezed out of the story. They feel more tacked on than integrated into the greater whole. But they're there, they're interesting, they're just not doing much, and they feel like they were an afterthought rather than a cohesive part of the entire issue. So let's take a look at where this series fits in with the other Energon titles. Where, when, and how will this series intersect with the main Transformers series and G.I. Joe? That's the big question everybody keeps asking. The answer is, for right now, TBD. The collective series are all brushing up against each other with increasing regularity, but the particulars concerning how and when the titles will come together in a big crossover or merge together are completely unknown as of this writing. When that changes, we'll let you know. Final thoughts. What do we think about Void Rivals number 17? It pulls back the curtain on Zerta and the Sacred Ring, tying it all together to become a major part of Transformers lore with a pretty big punch. Robert Kirkman crafts a gripping saga with stakes that tower over everything he's done so far in this series to date, and even with, I would say, uneven art, it's still a fun ride. Therefore, Void Rivals number 17 earns an 8 out of 10. Give us a thumbs up if you like where this review is headed and if you thought it was helpful. And let me know in the comments section below which Void Rivals twist has you most excited. Is it the fact that Solila met Zerta? Is it the information about Goliath? Is it the fact that possibly Derek is going to be a wanted and hunted man? Let me know in the comment section down below. So thank you very much for joining, and stay tuned through the outro for more reviews just like this one.